Hello, and welcome to another fantastic episode of My Orgasmic Life. I'm your hostess, Gaia Morrissette, and today's episode is brought to you by tickle.life. Hee hee hee. Okay, so I haven't done much of my magic side, my high priestess side, my goddess side, sharing on my orgasmic life. And, I've been really called to do so. And so if you are not into magic, if you're not into energy work, if you're not into the woo-woo, by the way, I'm going to be dropping into my high priestess self, okay? And I'll talk about, what qualifies me to have this conversation in a second. But if that's not your jam, not your thing, then come, go listen to another episode and come back, for our next episode where we drop back into sex and relationship stuff. All right. So, hello. Everybody who's still here. All right. So, here's some backstory because I haven't talked about my magical self on the show. So I'll give you a little bit of a background. I am a high priestess of divine sexual magic as well as elemental magics. And I have studied elemental magics my whole life. And somebody says, well, how did you become a high priestess? Well, I did my initiation in Amazon jungle. I did my, ceremony of, my taking up the mantle of high priestess in the jungle in Costa Rica. And every day I spend expanding and being the guardian of elemental knowledge, magic, and sex magic. So that's kind of like, in a nutshell, why I'm a magical being. Right, there's my qualifications. So I want to talk to you about money manifestation and combining money manifestation with sex magic. And this is something that I have been personally doing and working with for, I would say, the last 5 to 10 years. Last 5 years, heavily on a daily basis, actually. And the beautiful thing about money manifestation and using sex magic as a catalyst for carrying that frequency, that energy, is that sexuality and sexual energy is the frequency of all things are created from. So it's the creation energy, pure creation. And when you can learn how to tap into, harness, and utilize, that creation energy, which is, life force energy, which is sex energy, and you can learn how to harness that. Basically, learning to harness that energy is what sex magic is. And there's lots of sacred sexual practices that, build that energy and learn to focus that energy. But, the key is sex magic is being able to, I don't like to use the word control, because control is never usually goes hand in hand with, the universe of love and light. All right. We want to allow and receive and surrender, not make and control happen. Okay. All right. So that's what sex magic is. So there's what sex magic is. Money manifestation is basically money magic. And so where you can multiply, bring in, create, receive more money. And money, money, money. Cha-ching, cha-ching. And both things, in order for both things to work, you must heal your relationships and heal your shit and heal your stuff around your relationship with money and your mindset around money, as well as your relationship and your mindsets around sexuality. Okay, so in order for this to work. All right, so that's kind of like the back story that, I mean, this is a big topic. So one of the things that I found years ago, I was talking with I was, working with a friend of mine, and she showed up and she was teaching this workshop that I was a part of, and she, shows like $10,000, and she's like, how does that make you feel? And I remember thinking, oh, there's all this judgment. And so this is the stuff that I'm talking about around our money relationship, our money issues, right? So there was a bunch of judgment that came into my mind, which was, wow, must be nice to just have $10,000 just lying around for you that you don't have to, like, you can just have that lying around. There was all this judgments around, what, it must be nice. It must be easy, why can't I? There's all this stuff that came up for me, and each person has their own stuff around money. And so what I realized was that, oh, I don't really like the look of money. I don't really like seeing money. I had been doing all this work and clearing all this stuff and doing all this manifestation, but my core issue about money, like actual seeing of money and looking at money and touching money and feeling money, was not healthy. And because it wasn't healthy, there was a repression, and there was a pushing it away because I didn't like the feeling that it gave me. So I started doing a bunch of, this is where the magic started to come in. So I started to drop into so I didn't have to stop. So I didn't have to drop into, what was I talking about? Sorry, somebody sent a message. All right, I had a brain fart. So what was I talking about? Oh, so my relationship. So I had to heal that relationship. I had to make money, the sight of money being stimulating and arousing and, enjoying it. So I basically took a $20 bill, and I've posted it to my mirror in the bathroom. So everywhere I went, every time I went in there, I would go and I would smile at it and I would rub it. I would rub and, connect and love it and wink at it and flirt with it and, create this because for me, if I can turn it into something that's sexual and sexy and arousing, that arousing energy, then I really like it because I'm all about pleasure. It's kind of a little pleasure fairy. So I started that process. And what I started to happen is, as I started doing that, people started handing me $20 bills, like cash. Like I started getting cash. All of a sudden, lots of cash. Most of my clients don't pay me cash, and all of a sudden all of my clients were paying me cash. They were always in $20 bills, and I was like, wow, this is really cool. So I dropped in even deeper. I was like, okay, universe, and checked in, and divine, and opening up to what needs to happen next. And so I started on this journey of really leaning into building a relationship with money and leaning into, okay, well, now what happens when I utilize my creative sexual energy and, connect to that energy and use my sex magic in line with receiving and manifestation and creation and all these beautiful things, using orgasm and using connection of everything that exists in the world and me being a part of everything. And the results were spectacular. I started bringing in a lot of money. A lot of money started coming into my world. So this works. And, there's different ways, there's different amounts, there's different kinds, there's many different ways to pair money manifestation and, sex magic as the vehicle to heighten that frequency of creation. And there's many, like I said, there's tons and tons and tons of different techniques and different ways and different practices. But I want to share with you just a quick one that's kind of just to start off as being just like an easy one for you to explore a little bit with, okay? So when we're doing, and this is the other thing, before I get into telling you how to do this, this is a really important piece, is that when we are doing magic, manifestation, which is basically what is another word for magic. When we are learning, when we have taken and we are refocusing the energies of the universe, whether that's the frequency of money, the energy of money, whether that's the energy of sexuality and sexual energy, whether that's creation, life force energy, whatever it is, when we're doing any kind of magic work, we want to make sure our intentions are pure, are of love and light, are of receiving and allowing and surrendering. And that's where we want to be in, so that we are not forcing, controlling, and manipulating, because those energies that I just talked about have some consequences to them, and they usually aren't good. I wouldn't recommend going on that journey. I'll do another show of why you shouldn't go on that journey another time. All right, but so one of the great things is that you want to learn, you want to really be solid in your intentions. So for example, if I'm bringing in wealth into my life, I'm bringing in abundance. Why am I bringing in abundance? What is my intention behind that? Is it to support me being the best version of myself, and being the best version of myself allows me to contribute to the world? Or is it, I want a new car because that makes me feel like I'm, superstar, or that gives me power, or that gives me privilege, or that gives me status? And there's no judgment. And I really want to, I really want you to hear this. So there's no judgment in that if you want a new car, you want a new car. But when you start to utilize money and manifestation and sex magic, you need to make sure that your intentions are in line, that's going to best support you being the best version of yourself, not supporting the part of you that is insecure or moving from a place of fear or feeling inadequate. Okay, so that's the important piece of like, what is your intention of why you are bringing in and calling forth this abundance? So that's an important piece, okay? Just because I don't want you to end up having some consequences that you don't want to pay for. Right? So really sit before you decide to do this. Why am I doing this? Am I doing this to heal my relationship with money? That's a good one. Am I doing this because I want to be the best version of myself? Great. That's good. But anything outside of that really clean and clear intention, I wouldn't recommend doing it from a magic standpoint. All right, so there's my warning. There's my content warning. Right? Use at your own risk. Now that we've got that stuff cleared, how do we logistically do this? So we're going to start with, you can start with any bill. Bill being the physical money of whatever that denomination is. So we got to do some prepping. So depending on where you live and what the currency you have and what denomination you're going to use, just know whatever denomination you use, that's what's most likely going to start coming in more of. So I started with a $20 bill, I moved to a $50 bill, I moved to a $100 bill. When I moved to the $100 bill, I was getting $100 bills. Okay, so if you want higher quantities of money, then you want to go a higher denomination. Now in Canada, which is where I live, our money is plastic. which is so fabulous, actually, because I can prepare it and wash it and cleanse it, and it doesn't affect it. You know, not everybody's currency is plastic, so you might have to do this differently. So if your currency is plastic like Canadians, this is what you want to do. You want to wash it with soap and water. You want to rinse it off, and then you want to rinse it, so you want to bathe it in salt water. So you're just going to basically take a mixture of sea salt and water, and then run your bill through it, okay? And then you can dry it off. We want to cleanse it for these two reasons. One, because of germs, because of viruses, because of all the things that are going on in the world, and money picks up all sorts of stuff because it's touching people's hands. So you want to clean it. That's the first thing you want to do. Energetically, that's why we run it through the sea salt. Energetically, you want to cleanse it so that it's open and clear, and it hasn't picked up all the energy of all the people who have touched it and whatever their belief systems are around money and their issues around money are. You don't want to take that into your ceremony and your ritual. So you've cleansed, so that's if you have plastic money. If you don't have plastic money, we're going to have to do it a little bit differently. So if your money is like US money, which is paper, I would basically pick the bill that you're going to use and let it sit for a couple days in the moonlight and sunlight. This is going to help to cleanse it energetically. Plus a lot of germs and things like that die over so many days. So I would put it in, just be on the safe side, let's do like 5 days. Let it sit in the sun and the moon for 5 days, and so that it cleans, and anything else that's living off it will die. Then, now that you have your money and that you have your prepared, this is where we bring in the sex energy. So what you're going to do is you're going to lay the money underneath you. And this is where we're going to do some masturbation. Yay! Masturbation. Self-pleasure. All right, so we're just doing the basics here, okay? So you got the money, it's cleaned, it's cleansed, it's ready. You're going to lay it underneath your body. If you have plastic money that's been really, really, really clean, you can, lay it on top of your, energetically, just kind of lay it on your genitals for a moment and then put it underneath you. If you don't have plastic money that you weren't able to actually wash, then I would suggest putting on a pair of undergarments before you start and placing the money over your genital area and just holding it there. And as the money is over your genital area, I want you to take 3 deep breaths. Breathing in, exhaling, breathing in, exhaling, and one more time, breathing in and exhaling. And while you are breathing, this is where you're connecting. I want you to visually, imagine in your mind's eye, that this relationship, this connection is filled with love. So much love. And love looks like different things for different people, but the easiest is to just feel the color. So, what does this love color represent? Some people it's pink, some people it's red, some people it's green. There is no right answer. This is the beautiful thing about, there's no right or wrong. It's just what your connection and how this is going to work best for you. And so what you're going to do is you're just going to put your hand between your hand, the money, and your genitals. And you're just going to send all this love to the money, to your genitals, to your genitals, to money, that they love each other. They have this really beautiful symbiotic relationship with each other. And then afterwards, so after you've had this moment of connection with your genitals and money, you're going to put the money underneath your body. And then you're going to proceed to masturbate. Whatever way that you normally do. Whether it's with a toy, whether it's with your fingers, whether it's humping the pillow, whatever it is that you normally do while you masturbate. And you're going to masturbate to an ejaculation, to an orgasm, and as you release, okay, in that moment of releasing with your orgasm, you're going to say, I lovingly receive financial abundance with ease. I lovingly receive financial abundance with ease. I lovingly receive financial abundance with ease. And you're going to say that as you're coming. So it probably doesn't sound anything like I just said. It sounds more like, I lovingly receive financial abundance with ease. It's more likely what it's going to sound like. As you're coming, all right? So as you're coming, you're going to say this, all right? Now, once you're finished, coming, you're then going to take a moment and you're really going to lay there just for a second and you're going to thank the money. You're going to send that love back again to that money that you're laying on. And you're going to send that connection from your genitals to the money. And you're going to thank the money. You're going to thank your sexuality. You're going to thank the pleasure that is happening in your body. And you're really going to take all of those endorphins that have just happened in your body, your biochemical releases because of the orgasm that you had. And you're going to apply all of those feelings that you feel so good right now and so relaxed right now towards how you feel about money. So once you finish that, you're going to take your love juices, whatever that it happens to be, all right? And then you're going to, on the pieces that, that denomination of money that you've been, playing with, and you're going to smear it on that money. And then you're going to take that and we're going to go to the mirror and you're going to put it up on the mirror. You may not need to use tape. However, I do recommend tape because once everything dries, it'll fall off the mirror. All right. And so now every time you walk into the bathroom where that money is, what you're going to do is you're going to be remembering of this sexy moment that you had. This is lover. This is your lover. This is money was your lover. You just got freaky with money. You just had sex with money. You're like, boom, chicka, wow, wow. So your relationship now has changed, your feelings, your experiences, not to mention all the energy pieces that we've just done to create and receive and open yourself up to receiving financial abundance with ease. So you're going to rub the money, you're going to say hi to the money, you're going to flirt with the money, you're going to wink at the money, and you're going to keep that money up on your mirror for about a month or two. And you're going to have this, and I want you to observe how much more abundance is coming into your life. It's quite fabulous, actually, how all of a sudden money shows up out of nowhere and unexpectedly, and it's really cool. It's really, really cool. So there's there's the baby step. If you're really like, ooh, I like this, and this is working for me, and this is really resonating with me, then reach out to me, and we can set up some coaching and some mentorship around understanding magic and sex magic. elemental magics, and, you know, healing your relationship with money and healing your relationship with sex, and, you know, reach out to me, and you can find me at succulentliving.com. And I have a fabulous program if you're really interested in learning how to, like, what is this elemental magic, and how do I learn how to, you know, connect to the elementals, and how do I learn how to, like, really embrace sex magic. I have a fantastic combo course called Essence, and it's a combination of self-study and one-on-one mentorship. So if you're interested, you can, you know, reach out to me and we can talk about the juicy details of that. And of course, for all of your sexual education, there's tons of programs. I think I have 13 courses around relationships, alternative relationships, BDSM, Tantra, sexual skill building, you name it. There's, you know, a course that I've already created for it. So, you know, check out the courses. And don't forget, this is really important, to listen to my podcast called My Orgasmic Life, and listen to it on a regular basis. You can find me on all the platforms, Spotify, Apple, Google. I also have an app. So if you're like, ooh, I want to have my Orgasmic app on my phone so I can have Gaia with me all the time, so I can listen to her evil cackle. Ha ha ha. That one right there. Who doesn't want more time with me? All right, you can follow me on all the social media platforms under Gaia Morrissette or Empress Gaia, or both. And thank you for going on this magical journey with me. And I hope this was inspirational and that you learned some new stuff. And remember, this is the most important thing that I need you to take away. Your intentions are crucial to whether or not there are consequences for your actions. Okay? This is Magic 101 safety. Intentions. So, you know you're in line when your intentions are, thinking of it as I receive, I allow, I surrender. If your intentions are I control, I force, I make, there's going to be some consequences to it. All right. That's it. That's all. I love you all. And thank you, everybody who's with me live right now, who, you know, have been sending me love messages and hearts and thumbs up and, you know, all these beautiful things. Mwah. You're all amazing. Can't wait to play with you next time. Bye.